Hello, welcome everyone. Now then, I've been told recently that I look a bit like Osama bin Laden. Well, I personally don't see the resemblance. But anyways, now it was my plan to shave my beard off. But that's not the case, because I'm lazy. So instead, I'm going to open this J2O bottle with my bare hands. Ah! So just after that bit of a weird intro, sorry about that. Welcome to the video for a start. Just yesterday, the 5th of February, the lead producer of Gazin War Thunder, sorry for pronouncing this wrong, Vyacheslav Brenkov, released a Q&A where they answered our guys the community's questions and they basically answered them. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is simplifying them down, making them very simplified, just giving you the key points that we're going through. Hopefully it'll make sense to you guys. I'll leave the link in the description to the full release log that they've gone through. So first on the list, and one of the most interesting in my opinion, is Gazin have finally announced the release of Swing Wing Aircraft, which will be coming to War Thunder later this year in 2021, which is a big addition as this will just project to more modern planes. Swing Wing only really came into play mid-70s, so we've come from the MiG-21 being, or the Jaguar being one of the most advanced aircraft of the Harriers, coming in around about 70s to 80s, but this really is a lot more dogfighter centric planes that are being added, so that's really good for our community. We're going to see a big projection going forwards, which will be good. So let's get into what Swing Wing aircraft we can expect. Although Gazin hasn't released any official statements declaring which aircraft are going to be added, I've polled some of you guys on the community, as well as myself going through my own educated guesses of what they will add. So one of the first things that a lot of you guys, as well as me, thought would be added, is almost certain it'll be added, is the Panavia Tornado, which will more than likely be an attacker, as it is a multi-role ground attack fighter jet, which will be added to the German, Italian and British territories, as well as more than likely on a Lend-Lease program to the Americans. So this BR, I've kind of gone through a couple of BRs, compared it to the other thing, like the Jaguar. It's very similar to the Jaguar, the British Jaguar. And what I've come up with, the BR suggested for this one would be about 10.0, although that is just off of my own predictions. It could change, it could be less, it could be a lot higher, we never know. They could even add a completely new BR. But I'm no expert on it, that's just what I guess. And anyway, up to the next one, the F-14 Tomcat. Now, of the poll I did right here, it was your guys' most interesting, the one you wanted. 64% when I last read it, that's the aircraft they wanted added. Probably because it's the most iconic, it's Top Gun, it's Tom Cruise, it killed, what's his name, Ducky? Hooper. Honker? For most of you that don't play United States of America Tetri, unfortunately it is more than likely not going to be added as an actual researchable jet. It may be added as a Lend-Lease program. I've not looked into it, but the United States Air Force were the only ones that use the F-14 Tomcat that are currently in War Thunder today. So the only trouble about the F-14 Tomcat is, while it could be added, it is a 1970s fighter jet, which we have seen some other fighter jets, is that its performance is far too high to be added to War Thunder at the moment. It would be the best of the best, as it was used up until about 2000s, where it only just retired. It would probably have a new battle rating if it was its full potential. It would come in about 11, maybe 11.3. That's how good this fighter jet is. It was an air superiority fighter, it was a dogfighter. If you watch Top Gun, you'll know what I mean. It's a great movie. So next up on my list of predictions would be the Messerschmitt P1101. Now there was only one of these ever actually made, it never flew because it was only 80% done when the Americans captured it. So this one, the Messerschmitt P1101, was, a couple of you wanted it. I don't think a lot of you wanted it, although a lot of you would have heard about it. It was one of the first, it was actually the first swing wing aircraft ever kind of made. But that would most likely be one of the ones that I can almost guarantee will be added, as that'll come in about low tier 7.7, kind of give people an introduction to what it was, and it'll probably be a premium only for the German and maybe USA territories. Another one that I can almost be certain they will add would be the MiG-23, the predecessor to the famous MiG-25 Foxbat. It would probably come in two variants if it were added. A ground attack variant like the Tornado, so it'll probably be an attacker, and it'll also come in as a fighter. They may just make one, but it may be obligatory to put in a premium as an attacker for people to buy, so they'll get golden lines, etc, etc. That seems more than likely, judging what Gadget have done in the past. So other than that, they're the ones I predict probably more than likely will be put into the game. Other than the F-14 Tomcat, that's a bit, it's what Gadget wants to put in basically. But I asked some of you in the comments, one of the ones I got here was they wanted to see the French Mirage, as you can see right here, and also there. The French Mirage was only a prototype swing wing aircraft, so whether they add that, probably will, because other than that, the France Air Force will then have another premium, which it doesn't already have a lot of. So they'll probably will want to get that Mirage in. The only problem is the Mirage is very kind of modern. It was around the Harrier time, so they could add it. It is perfectly possible, but will they? It seems unlikely in my opinion. Now the MiG-23 would probably come around the Chinese, possibly as a lend-lease to the Chinese, and also definitely in the Soviet and German territory. I can guarantee if that were added, then it will more than likely be added as a German, Chinese and Soviet multi-role fighter. Oh, nasty. What glass. So as well as obviously the French Mirage being added as a premium, you guys also want to see some more actual in production things. These seemed less likely to be added, as they didn't really seem actually what War Thunder want to achieve, other than maybe the Suzuki types of, I'm not sure how to pronounce the types of aircraft. So these other ones would typically include the Su-17, the Suzuki, whatever. I'm not even going to say, I'm just going to say Su-17, because I don't know how to pronounce that. Right here, the Su-17 looked like this. It was a swing wing. It was a predecessor to the Su-20 and the Su-22, which were kind of other variants of it. They were typically just Soviet jets. I bet they'd be in the Russian, maybe Chinese and German territory. Another one from the USSR territory was the Su-24, as we can see here. That would be an attacker, if I'm right, although it can be anything. Again, it's a multi-role attacker, but typically it would be a ground attack jet aircraft that would be designed to reach pretty high speeds, which would be interesting to see, as that would be another attacker. Typically they were attackers, the swing wing aircraft. Another one, which I can almost guarantee this would never be added to any combat simulator game in the air. It would be amazing if it was. It's such a beautiful looking aircraft. I think it was only a prototype, I'm not too sure, but oh my god, the Vickers Swallow. This thing, you've probably never seen it before, but I've seen it. I've seen concept drawings of it. I've never seen the actual thing. I'm not sure if there's an actual thing anymore, but I'm sure there is somewhere. Never seen it, but it just looks beautiful. Like, imagine that just in War Thunder. I mean, it would never happen in War Thunder, I can almost guarantee you. But that would be one thing to definitely consider, Gadget, if you are watching this. Another one thing that I could see Gajin adding, but not at the moment, not for years to come. I'd give it at least 2 to 3 years before they added this. The American B-1B Lancer. Now this thing is, it's a supersonic bomber. So if that doesn't say enough about it, then whew, I don't know what will. But it's that thing won't be added until F-14s are in the game, F-15s are in the game, maybe even the F-35s in the game. So that was basically just the overall, the main thing that Gajin had done in this Q&A. So Gajin also confirmed a numerous amount of other things, including the German Phantom will soon be added to the game. However, the exact date is still unconfirmed. Another graphics update for Vapor Clouds. If you don't know what Vapor Clouds, I'll include an image here for you. It's this thing kind of when wings, they pull up at high G-force and it looks like they're breaking the sound barrier, but they're not breaking the sound barrier, if you get what I mean. There will be better British bombs being added to British bombers, as they currently can only carry World War II era bombs, and they're rubbish. Hashtag justice for Britain, y'all. That was cringe. The British tech tree will also see a Sea Harrier being added to it in close months. Gajin will also be updating the commander view for modern tanks. Another interesting one for those helicopter pilots out there, those whole 20 of you. Gajin may, they're sceptical of this, but they have been considering it recently. They could add something called a buddy laser system, which is where another helicopter can laser designate a target, and you can fire your missiles on that target. Now, I'm not sure, they have said they're a bit sceptical of it because of the current meta, with helicopters especially, but they could add this. And that would be something quite interesting to see. That could create a lot more competition in maybe esports or just actual team play, rather than the current RP, one man, you gotta get your own RP, screw your team, doesn't matter if you lose or you win, you want those kills. They also announced that they will be continuing the Squadron Vehicles program, and unfortunately if you were wanting a helicopter, you would have to actually buy it with silver lines after reaching rank 5. They will not be adding squadron research points for helicopters. So aviation shells will be added to the shell count in the protection analysis of tank armour, which will something be good for especially those low to mid tier players and maybe the top tier players with jets, etc. But certainly, in my opinion, the Stuka, the dive bomber, the Mosquito, and other ground attack aircraft with cannons on the front, that'll be something that's really interesting to see, for me at least. So, good news for all of us. Gajin are currently in the process of remodelling aircraft to make them look better, graphically, aesthetically, more pleasing. So that's always good to hear, that they are taking on board what our things are. Because if you look on the Zero, especially the A6M, in the Japanese tech tree you can see like triangle sort of things on the front of near the engine, which isn't exactly true in terms of historical accuracy, so that's good to hear. And last but not least, War Thunder, Gajin are currently developing the next World War mode, which we all love. Judging by this poll right here, a lot of you, over half of you almost, loved World War is your favourite mode. Personally, I don't see why they don't let the World War mode go on for a lot longer, maybe a month every season, so for 1/4 of the year there is a World War mode ongoing. That would, for me, would make it a lot more interesting. It would give people more purpose to join squadrons, in my opinion. And other than that, guys, I hope you liked the video. Sorry that it's a bit off topic, this one. I thought it'd give you an update, because I'm super excited for these swing-wing aircrafts, even though I'm nowhere near getting them. But I hope you guys liked the video. Leave a like. Don't have to subscribe, but if you want to subscribe, that would mean a massive deal to my channel. It's only very small at the moment. I hope to see you in the next video, and have a good day, everyone.